Hi, good evening, everyone. Just a couple of minutes and I'll be ready. Hi, Uttam. Hi, Gopal. Hi, Ashish. Hi, JK. Good evening, everyone. I'm just setting up my other laptop. Hi, Ash, Deep. Hi, Mani. Hi, Sandeep. Good evening, everyone. So right now, futures are about 0.5% up. They bounced right from this area of 4382 where we closed. After feeling 4581, we are testing 4382. Now 4382. Hi Arvind, hi Shaker, hi Jonathan, hi Raman, hi Niketu, hi Brino. Good evening. Hi Shri. Hi Rodney. Good evening, everyone. Uh, Last couple of weeks have been really terrible for all the bulls. And since we lost this, let me just change this color to, let me choose green. Even this one is not good. I need to choose which color which can be clear. This looks fine. But since we lost this 4668, this was a 78.6 Fibonacci. We lost the regression channel. We lost 61. We lost 38. We came all the way to 23. And that's where we were on Friday. And we bounced right off that number, 4382. We closed on 4382 on Friday. Now we're about 413. That's about 25 points from the previous close. Now, this is a state of dilemma. We are too much away from the candle. The EMA gap is big, but the news and the momentum of the market is not clear on the positive side. This is a bearish market. This is a bearish market. We may have some spikes, but every spike we had was sold off with some strength. And all those closings were heavy with volume. If I add volume here as well, let me just add to the futures the volume. Look at this. We are coming down and the volume was getting intensified. It's not a clear picture. It's a very clear sense that yes, this was institutional selling. There was no Fed buying impact whatsoever. Fed is still buying the same thing. And compared to here, look, when we were going up and we made all-time high, look at the volume there. And look at the volume when we are coming down. We are coming down almost with 3 times the volume we went up. This is seriously bad. Now, if we do not hold these areas, we don't have any, like, let me add that volume profile as well, just to have one more view to it. See, we are piercing through this volume shelves. Now, once we come below 4200, this area is very light in volume, from 3600 to 4000. So if we lose this 4260, we can quickly erode the gap on the SPX around 4,000 and come down seriously towards some COVID levels, pre-COVID levels. Those were all-time highs, which was 3397. I'm not saying that can immediately happen, but if we are going to have some serious sell-off again, and especially with Apple and Microsoft earnings this week, if they are not able to manage the expectations on their guidance, they will get decimated. You have seen Netflix, you will see every stock getting decimated if their guidance is poor, or if they miss on any of the earnings, they will get decimated. So the bias is clear. You need to get out once you can. We might have some relief bounce, but each and every relief bounce is getting sold off with some serious selling pressure. So now the bias is totally bearish in the market. There's possible bounce which might come, but that bounce needs to see how much is the strength. Like in the bearish market, as I've seen, every bounce will be sharp and quick, but the life of that bounce is always going to be short-lived. You may see a 2% bounce maybe tomorrow, for example. You may have that bounce by the end of the day, and then that's it. You will see a gap down to next day, and then it will start continue. So in this market, if you are long or if you have some long positions, make sure you trail your stop losses. Make sure you book when you see them green. Otherwise, it's sell on rise market. Every time it goes up, just sell it. You will make multiple returns if you keep on selling on rise. Hi, Jeremy. Hi, Rajesh. Hi, Special. Weekend was all right. It's a cool weekend here, so there's nothing we can do. So my thought process as of now is we have lost all the momentum on the positive side. If I do a calculation from 48.08, 43.28, 43.29, roughly it's about 10% on ES. Nasdaq has already lost 10%. IWM has already lost more than 25%. So if there has to be a bounce, which I would call a meaningful bounce, will happen around 43.20 area. And that also comes around this. This was the last two times. You see, let me just draw a line here. This was, if you see, exactly this is the number 4327. If you look at this, the open is 4327 here. The open here is, for this candle, is 4327. The 10%, like 4808, it's 90%, or reduction of 10% is 4327. So 4327 is something I am waiting for. 4327, if we lose this, we are going to have some serious volatility in the next few months. If we bounce towards 4327, we might bounce towards these EMAs. They may be at that time come around 4500, 4480. But if we lose 4327, I do not see any respite in the market, because this time there's no Fed to save. If you look at this on the weekly chart for 3 years, look at this. This is the first time we have lost this dark green line since COVID. And this is just the regression line which we have held for last 2 years. Now the next line is this line, which is the green line on the weekly, which comes around 4327. If we lose that, we have nothing, no support whatsoever. We might see some gap ups getting filled, and that's about it. And Just wait. Just wait. Don't be, guys. Just give me one moment. Sweet. Now, I'm just talking about the views first, and then we'll go to the analysis part. Look at NQ. NQ already lost this channel. NQ had a massive evening star right here on the weekly. And from 16,427, 261 regression Fibonacci, it came all the way down to 14,436. Again, 78.6, it tested that and then closed around it. If you lose 14,436, I don't see any respite until 13,400. So 14,436 is really important for Nasdaq, and 4327. These two numbers are really, really important for Nasdaq and ES. Now, I can also share my Zoom link in the chat straight away, so that if you want to have some discussion upfront, we can do that. And then I can also listen to your views and have a discussion before jumping on to the analysis push. So I'm sharing the link. If you want to join in, you want to share your views, do come over, and then we can have some discussion. And with this discussion, we can actually have some meaningful analysis. In the meanwhile, ES, I think if you are able to do futures, just keep an eye. It's not able to cross that 4420 area. 4420 area is really, really important. Look at this. It was finding so hard to cross this previously. Now this will become a resistance once again, because once it crossed that 4420 area, the high 4320 here. No, not this one. This one. The high is 4406. Here it is 4421, 44.7, 44.7. Here 44.30, here 44.20, 44.15 to 44.20 has been a real resistance in this case of the inside had inverted head and shoulders as well. Now that will act as some serious resistance. If market is managed to hold above 44.25, roughly, you may see some bounce towards 4,500. That's it. Once you reach there, the selling will continue. So just make sure that you have some clear-cut plan for the market reaction. You cannot go into this market thinking I'm going to short or I'm going to go long. No, you must be pretty reactive to the market direction. If market is losing momentums, don't wish and wait for trade or direction to happen. Just follow that. Do not fight the trend. If market is saying I'm going down, just follow it. Do not wish, oh, I'm buying this $1 lotto trade, it will become $20 once the market reverses. No, that $1 will go and be 1 cent and then zero. Okay, now we have about how many people? 8 people. Anybody wants to share their views here? And JK, you were talking about market to bounce. It did not as of now. We lost almost 8.5%. And the racket is still ongoing. Yes, Manoj.
Hi, Noel. Thank you so much for all your help. I just had a thought about what has happened to crypto this weekend, right? So opinion on the coin. I have a feeling that as soon as coin opens, it is going to open at least 20-30 points down.
See, I do not have a ratio of Bitcoin to coin, so I cannot tell that. But coin already fell $30 on Friday.
On Friday, correct. And then you see the crypto trade during this weekend, right? It's just ridiculous, right? So,
It's
and
not ridiculous. It's just the market is, once the free money is going away, all these things will come to their real market values. Bitcoin
uh,
was 3,000 in 2019.
yeah, correct, correct. So I think all crypto related trades, because of Bitcoin, what has happened to Bitcoin, like Square, like right, Mara, and right coin.
See, they will already open some big gap down. So
Yeah,
you need to be very quick on trading them. Like
correct.
you need to enter as soon as the market opens, and that's not my way of trading. So I'll not touch them. But
Yeah,
yes, you need to be very, very quick. If you already have some uh, like short positions or puts towards crypto, then you should be good.
yeah,
But I will not jump into the market position straight away.
correct. And
I'm
another
looking
point,
forward for only one trade per day. For last 3 days, I'm keeping myself green just by keeping one trade per day.
I did not trade at all last week. So, one
That's
quick,
fine.
uh, another question was like on Powell, right? Is Powell speaking on Wednesday, right?
Yes, Powell is on 26th.
So,
And don't expect any respite from him. He's not at all worried about stock market now.
correct.
He got the backing from the president. Inflation is everything, and inflation is going out of hands.
Agree, totally agree. Yes. Other than that, nothing much. Just plan to wait and watch. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, JK.
Hey, Nawal. So the QQQ, I was expecting to bounce to 350, and I think we are right there. And
It lost 366. It came all the way to 350 now.
yeah, so
Right now with Nasdaq up, it should be 352, 353. But if you lose 350 or like 351.65, that's my previous Fibonacci. If you see right here,
yeah, yeah.
we closed right
So
on that number. One second.
so if you look at it, it's trying to form a right shoulder, a head and shoulder pattern on this one on QQQ. So I think it may bounce to 378 to form
I
that.
have serious doubts on that.
Yeah.
If
To
you're
form,
talking about this, this color is seriously bad.
yeah,
I
yeah.
need some nice color.
Okay.
This blue color. It's not easy to. This one is good. If you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
this ain't happening
Okay.
because we already are falling from a double M pattern.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we have double M pattern, this is not going to work out. The
Got it.
only thing which can happen is we might bounce towards, because we are at the zero Fibonacci level, we
Mhm.
might bounce towards 366. That's the best we can do.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. But this is a bearish market. If it loses this 350, like we closed on 351, that's
Right.
my previous, we closed right on that. If we lose this, come on, then I don't see anything until 326.
Got it. Okay. Not even 340 previous high.
Now it's going to go down.
Okay. Okay.
But say these are Fibonacci numbers. I'm
Right.
not making anything up. You can compare right from here. 78.6, it didn't stop and it came all the way to zero. This is 78.6. This is previous Fibonacci based on the previous all-time high. If we lose this, 344 first, there will be stops. 344, 333, 326.
Okay.
And this can happen if Apple posts some bad guidance.
Okay.
If Apple do that, then that's it, because Apple is the biggest weightage component of S&P, Nasdaq, and Dow Jones. That
Yep.
will take away the market. It
Yeah.
is all on Apple now. The rest of the stocks are already 30, 40, 50% down. In fact, Microsoft is 15, 20% down. Apple
Yeah.
is only 10% down.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the only thing I was seeing. Small bounce, maybe like you said, 366, not 378.
Yes, but this is not a buy the dip market.
Okay. Got it.
all the high valuations. Because see, when we talked about ECB and FOMC in December, and we talked about unwinding, we discussed that that money will come out from the market. As of now, they have not even started that. They're still pumping $90 billion per month from FOMC and 90 billion euro from ECB.
Right.
But that is not at all helping this market.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And I checked my 401k account. I was down 15% from
Like
the.
I did change my 401k to bonds. So I am almost flat to 0.5% green like.
Oh, okay. Good, good, good. Yeah. Since I hit the high December 3rd, and I'm down from there like 15% from there. So
I would say this is the market where you should have some percentage dedicated to bonds, to like money market.
got it. Okay.
I moved into some Forex as well as bonds.
Okay. Oh, Forex? How
Yes.
can you do Forex in 401k?
No, not in 401k, but
Okay.
as my hedge outside of 401k.
Got it. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah.
Because in case something happens, then dollar will get more and more strength.
Got it. Dollar. Okay.
Yes. But
Yeah.
I don't talk about Forex in the front because it's very complicated. I have
Yeah.
a few forward contracts, but I don't want to touch about that.
Yeah. Forex is a bigger bomb than anything. It's crazy.
Yes, Jeremy, you can sell debit spreads on any strength. Yes, this is the market where you can actually do that. Wait for the spike in this market and then use that to sell it. For last 3-4 days, we are making lower highs and lower lows, and that continues to the close. And that's really, really bad. Even look at this ES. We have 62,000 volume. I have not seen 62,000 volume in the peak of COVID for ES in the first 90 minutes. That is some substantial volume. And let's break it down. Because I want to do this because stocks, we can all pick it up. But if we focus on index at this time, that will be our most safer bet. I'm just adding some volume here. So this is the volume from Sunday. We opened in the first 5 minutes, we had about volume of 15,000. And that was roughly a doji. Then we had a move up with 5,000, move up with 5,000, move down with 4,000, move down with 3,000. And since then, it's 1,000, 2,000, 2,000, 3,000. So it's not giving you a clear picture. But this first half an hour, 15 minutes, that's about 40,000 in volume. I've never seen that. I've been doing futures for so long. Usually it happens around 7:30, but in the first, like, it's not even 90 minutes. The net volume is more than 60,000. This is huge volume happening. So keep an eye and trade if you're on the screen. If you're not on the screen, if you have meetings, don't screw yourself up. You will only lose. Because market is so volatile, and this is not going to end right away. This market is going to be volatile for next 1 year. All right. One more thing which I was planning to do was, where is my Excel sheet? Did I close it? Oh shit. I'm planning to add. So instead of red or green, I was thinking we can add 2 more levels. We can add 1 more column of support here. So that support 2, support 1. We have bias, so we don't need to have good entries. We can actually see, no, it doesn't make sense. It will become complicated. I need to clean this up first. Let me start this for 24. Anyone else has any other viewpoint they want to share before I start my analysis? The link is in the chat if anybody is interested. All right. So let me start with ES. As I said, ES is totally neutral. Like it's now 60% short is there. We almost hit like from 4429, 4382 on Friday. We did that. Now 4420 is the stop loss once again. As I said, look here, it took some strength for it to cross 4420 on the closing basis. The high here was 4421. So I'm taking 4420 as my stop loss, buy above 4420. If it holds, and target is 4458 and 4599, 4520. So ES target is still the same. In case of downside, short percentage is much higher. So sell stop loss again, 4420. You can sell below this. So it's a very clear situation. If it stays above it, go for long. If it stays 4420 and below, you can sell. Let me add a range here so it's easier. Target is 4382. If we lose 4382, we do not have anything before 4327, which I just explained. 4327 is the 10% from the all-time highs. This is going to be a massive support. If we lose this, then you can like seriously call this as bear market, because that's more than 10% correction. Right now it's almost bear market, but this will confirm the total bear market. Okay, so this is pretty evident here. In case of SPY, $435.52 is going to be really important. That is a 61.8 Fibonacci. So I'm keeping that as my stop loss, 4355 on the long side. If it sustains above that, you can go long. If it loses this, you can go short. 435 and below, you can hit 423.48. 429, 429.5 and 428.48. 428.48. And this is sell below 4335. If it goes below this, this is your stop loss and go long. And if you want to go higher, you need to buy above 438. And target is 444. And 450 roughly, because that's the round numbers. And now all the technicals will play into the market, because there is no Fed money to override them. You may see some difference in ES and SPY, but that's all right. Depending on what you trade, you can pick it up. Because here I'm just going low in case of SPY, just because SPY do not trade in overnight times. So sometimes give me 1 second. So you can like you cannot trade SPY overnight. So take numbers according to the market timings. I prefer ES. I'm just doing SPY because people ask me to do SPY, but I usually follow ES. Triple Q. Triple Q came to a very important area, 350. 350, and if I extend this to, where is 5-day? Where is my 5-day? 5-day, 1 day. This one. If we lose 350, we are going to have a test of 344. 351.65 is our previous like Fibonacci of 78.6. So if you go long here with the stop loss of 350, so QQQ stop loss of 350.31 buy above 351.65, and that's the close as well. So till the moment it is holding that close, you might get to 366. Again, it's a 40% possibility, but it is a possibility. On the short side, if it loses 350, okay, then you can sell this, and your target will be 343, 338. It will be 338, no, 344 first. 343.97, 338, 57. And all this depends on the number of Apple and Microsoft. If Apple post a guidance or the revenue miss anything not on the expected lines, expect some massive deterioration from Apple or Microsoft. Hi, Kanam, you can, I'll post it later on, don't worry. Adam Walters, thanks, Adam. John, this is an OC order, but you know how OC orders can be really nasty, Jonathan, because you might have something placed, and by the time you get it, your most likely stop loss can get hit. It's going to be very tricky. It's just wait for some serious clarity in the direction. If the market is one-sided, then yes, OC orders can work awesome. But in this case, market is so volatile, your stop losses can wipe off in a single second. Okay, so this is my index view. Now let me just do a scan on the stocks on the weekly. I don't think there will be a single stock which is in inside week or inside day. That's only the index. If I change it to a week, so we have IBM, Airbnb, XPV, Splunk. Let me make note of. IBM has earning this week. IBM, and I've burned enough in IBM and Airbnb both. XPV. They are inside. Let me also check inside month if we are having anything. Facebook. Okay, that's inside month. Okay, let me check on any important ticker other than this. No, let me start with Apple first. No, BA. BA have earnings this week, and BA, again, like what it usually does, comes to the channel, goes up, fails, goes up, fails, goes up, fails, goes up, fails, goes up, fail. It's doing the same thing, but it is coming to an area where it has bounced or it has found support, which is 205, 204, 60 area. If it hold this area, it can have a bounce. Otherwise, it's going down big. And there are a few gaps at 175, 176, 157, which needs to be filled. So it might fill that. Now, BA is an important component in the Dow and industrials. So if it loses this momentum, it can be really, really bad. And we also had a clear evening star right there. And with evening star, it's going 1, 2, 3 candles down, back to back. Now, if it has to bounce, 204.60 is the stop loss. If somebody wants to trade, I am converting into a neutral pattern in BA. The stop loss is 204.60. It is an important level. If it loses 204, 190 will come. So 240, that's why I was thinking to add some support levels as well at the bottom. But then it becomes so complicated, this sheet. If somebody has to buy above 208.74. Short below 204.60. Target will be, first one is 214.41. The one thing which can move BA is the China approval of its planes. They have earnings this Wednesday. And China news is supposed to come by the end of January, around the end of January. So if both these things come together, in case of BA, it can seriously move up from here and kind of manage Dow Jones. And that is required. So all the money which is coming out of tech can actually push BA on serious notes up. So keep an eye on BA. If it holds 204, it can be a really, really good positive trade. Caterpillar. Caterpillar. Caterpillar is testing the 34 EMA, and it's coming in a range where 215, like if you see here, if market has to bounce, it should bounce and give you something to make head and shoulders on Caterpillar. Right now there's a shoulder, there's a head. The second shoulder is possible once it moves. So if you want to play for Caterpillar shoulder, 214.90, which is the 34 EMA, is your stop loss. If it loses this, it's coming to 199. I should have some column mentioning this. Let me add one column here in the table. BA below 204.60. $190. This will be better. I was trying to add this somehow in the structure. Apple. Apple. So Apple has also lost the channel. The trend is negative. And again, now you all know what is M pattern. It's a clear M pattern. It can easily come here. And you have seen same pattern in so many stocks now. You should be pretty clear it's an M pattern. Now, it's a sell on every rise, 164.80 is your stop loss. Sell it when it comes there. Apple is my short candidate. It's a sell near 162, 163. with the stop loss of 164.80 and target towards this one, 155 area, or you can say this 156.26 area. If it loses that, it will come around to 147. So I'm seriously negative on Apple at this moment. So anything on Apple goes down, it's going to go down really, really big. I wanted to short it at 170, but just to be honest, I did not have the guts to do it. Then we have Baba. I'm still positive on Baba, but Baba also came and closed on that Fibonacci of 23. So this is really, really important for Baba. And Baba is making inverted head and shoulders on the slant. So next it should make like this. So 123 is going to be an extremely important area for Baba. I do not want to lose this 123 area on Baba. If it does, or if it holds this area, you will see some serious bounce. And again, it's 23.6 Fibonacci as well. So I'm still positive on Baba. So I like to add this if it comes and holds above 123. So it's inverted head and shoulders. 123.15 and no position below 123.50 in Baba. Buy above 120.16, 126.15. Buy here 132, 139. Chinese market is still going to be the strongest market in the coming 1 year. So if you're getting opportunity to add them, add Baba, Baidu, JD, PDD, Futu. They are good stocks to be accumulated. Baidu almost came to 165 since we were trying from 159. It came there, now it made a bearish engulfing. It's coming towards 154, 155 area. Again, I'll keep a stop loss of 152.49, which is 23.6 Fibonacci. Really, really important area. And it will allow candles to test 154, which is the 12 EMA and the Fibonacci as your stop loss. So I'm still positive on Baidu. And there's no inverted head and shoulders pattern anymore. I have to come to Amazon. I will come to Amazon just now. Buy near 154. 22. Stop loss is 152.49. Targets are still the same. 165, 157. Let me just keep these targets first. 157.47. Amazon. What a shit stock this has been. If anybody has any more views to it, just let me know. A consolidation of 2 years and now finally it broke down. It broke down below its yearly lows. This is nasty. This is seriously and nasty. This is happening same in IWM. I do not have any support until here. I need to change the regression channels here, remove the Fibonacci and clean it up. Let me just do that right away. Let me remove I'm removing all the lines which I've drawn for the last 2 years. Now you will see a clear pattern. It's a consolidation and it's broke down big. I have not seen Amazon breaking like this without earnings. This is some serious selling. There is a very small gap. Let me add a gap finder here just to check if we have any kind of gaps. There is one gap here, right here, 2631. That can be open. That gap has never been filled. So I think we can hit that gap now. Since we lost that big regression channel, it's becoming really serious on the downside. Even now for last like 18-20 months, it's still on the positive territory. From like 2018, the regression channel is here. I'm just trying to make some new Fibonacci and new regression channels. So I'm taking off from 5-year low of 803, bringing it down here, sending to the right. And then I'm going to take a weekly view just to see if I make a Fibonacci here, it should work right from here. So I'm taking a very big Fibonacci first, and then I'll break it down into the smallers. This is 1600 all the way here. And I'm gonna cross. No, there's nothing here. So let me see. The previous support is right here. It's a very different way of doing Fibonacci extensions, because I do not have any retracement below this level. So I've drawn it backwards. I am looking at 2700 here. This Fibonacci. It's a clear-cut breakdown. And let me just clean up and let me verify if my way is right or wrong. The low is 1626. Let me edit properties of Fibonacci 1626. And if anybody has any questions, you can come on the mic and we can talk, because it's very difficult to read the comments while I'm doing this. The high is 37308 and the low I touched was 20038. No, 22. 2186. Let's see if our chart acted properly or not. So 61% was 3512. We got some evening star right there. That's confirmed. Again, 3500 area. The evening star is good. Again, 3512 area. The evening star is good. Finding support at 3260 area. 3000 is clean plate. Yeah, 2692. It looks fine to me. And if now it bounces back, I will create a retracement. That will be the step 2 in my Fibonacci. Yes, Mr. Devkar.
Hi, Paji.
Hi.
So regarding this regression channel, you went ahead and went for 5 years low. Like, can we could have kept your existing one and draw like on the opposite direction? Was it possible to do, or like
That's also possible, like if you want to draw it from here to here, but this is
yeah?
very short term, this like about 2-3 months.
Okay.
So I'm not denying that's not a way, but I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to have a like very clear picture from a longer term perspective as well, that what's happening. Because if you look at this chart, like if I draw this, you see every time it's here, it got rejected, it came down, bounced from here, and then went up, got rejected from this line.
Mm-hmm.
So it's falling in this place. You might draw it from here, but then it will be another picture from there to there, and you
Right.
don't have any other levels to draw Fibonacci extensions. Now I did this because I did not had any other area where it has,
Mm-hmm.
it's not bouncing from last 2 years. It simply goes up from there. So it failed it. So I went back and used this one.
Yeah.
It's not a appropriate way, but I found this to be useful, so I'm using it. That's the only.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Any help?
Paji, Waheguru. Just observation while you said, right, Apple is the main key point for this week. Apple can change the market. And it's just my observation. All previous Apple earnings, after earnings, Apple fell down. So it's just, if you see every earning, at least for past 1 year,
Yes.
Apple came down after earnings.
Yes. But now the problem is Apple has already fallen 10%. All I need is a bad guidance. One bad guidance, Apple, you will see in 130s, 140s.
Oh, really?
Netflix, nobody expected 370. They were everything in line. It's just the bad guidance. And now market is so tightly coupled with valuations, they will just beat down if you have any bad numbers. Look at Shopify. From 1700 now 870 in span of 2 months. If somebody bought that at 1700, their accounts are done.
Yeah, true. It's very crazy market.
Yes. So in this market, I am going to think twice before, even if I have to drop a trade for a day or two, I will do that. But I will not jump on anything here. So 2881 in case of Amazon, if it holds, there is a possibility of a bounce. Anytime it holds below 2881, sell it. Amazon sell 2881, sell below 2881. Or Friday's low was 2841. A target of 2756, which is this line, 2756 and 2692. Can long above 2881. But my bias is negative. Facebook is making inside months. This is the one stock which potentially is seriously undervalued at this time as compared to rest of the companies. So if it holds 305, see, there's no M pattern here. You have M pattern in Amazon, you have M pattern in Apple. There's no M pattern here. So 305 and above, I would love to go long on Facebook. Again, I am from positive neutral. By above 305, 18. Stop losses 300, not 300, this area 300, 299. So there is a $6 stop loss, and reward is 323. This line 320. Yep, 320. Still 60%. Best long in the stocks. Google has a gap. Google also is making M, but it's a wider M, but it's making an M. It lost that 30, 26, 27, which it was holding. Now there are gaps here, which needs to be filled. And as I've always said, gaps are always filled, no matter what. It may take a week, a month, a year, 2 years, but gaps are always filled. It's going into the gap now. 2567, 2569 is the gap. If it holds that gap, then you might see some positivity. But if it fills that gap and loses more, then it's going to go for the second gap. There is a gap at 2400 as well. So I would love to sell this around 26, 27. 26, 27. Stop loss is 2650. Gap level is 2534, and then there's a gap here, 2569. Again, about 2650. $26.50. More on the short side. Snow has not fallen. It's coming to this area. The entire cup and holder, not holder, cup and handle is done, I believe. It's just coming to that level of regression channel where if it has to bounce, it should. Otherwise, there's just no trade on snow. It has to hold that 260 area if it has to do anything. 260 area is the stop loss. If somebody is interested, I'm not touching snow anymore. By 265, 270 area, 286, 293. That's the best. Shopify almost like it went below my expectations. Shopify. See, once it loses that 1339, which we were talking, it never looked back, and that was 161 Fibonacci. Now, once it loses that, 100, 78, 61, 50, 38, 38, 950, 913. It did not stop. It's coming to 840 now. We'll sell this near 913. Shop, sell near 913. Stop loss is 930. Target is 840 for now. This is the most stock to sell. Nvidia was looking better at one time on Friday. It was trying to bounce. It's making a hammer from all the way 346 to here. So hammer at the downtrend usually signifies the end of the downtrend. The high is 233.50, and here the low is 232. So this big gap is filled. This gap is filled. There's one gap here. If it goes below 233, it will come down and fill that gap as well at 195, 197 area. So I will take a chance on the long side in this NVIDIA with 233 stop loss. Friday, it almost hit 248, and I did book a trade on 248, but sell for 218 below 233.5. Tesla, the super overrated stock, it's still making, like, if it goes below 929, it's going to go and fill this gap at 840. I think it is at a very, very interesting area. The trend is clearly negative. The inverted head and shoulder is still in place. We might see some bounce towards 1000, but I don't know. This has earnings this week. It might actually come out with some super move on the higher side. No, I cannot say that, but it still has this possibility. Still, 929 is your stop loss. So I'm still not going short on Tesla until the earnings. Usually Tesla has not performed well after earnings most of the times. And again, any miss in guidance, Tesla will go back below 800. Just keep that in mind. 950 above. 929 is your stop loss, buy near 950. And target is 1026. Do not expect such kind of huge positive moves which you have seen in the past in Tesla or in any other stock. You may see 1-2%, book them once you see them. AMD on Friday did almost 125. So AMD, like NVIDIA, it's at really important level. So I will respect that. And 118.61, the trade is still the same. I'll not touch it. Sell below 929. AMD is still the same. Microsoft was a sell on Friday. It lost that 303. It almost came there. You could have sell it 299, 296 below the long-term channel. The trend is clear. Again, the one common thing you see on all the FANG, this is M. You have Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, Google. All of them have M. In fact, Tesla also has M. Only Facebook doesn't have. So Facebook is something you must invest on or you keep an eye on. Now, again, if it bounces, because Microsoft has been the best bounce stock in the market, go for the same equation, sell near 299. I would say sell near this. Everything is same, 291 and 287. 291, 287, 280. All these levels will come. Then I have a firm tried once but had a bearish engulfing again, making lower low, lower high. Piton did bounce. Now it should come around 53. It's filling all the gaps. 53, 56. I would love to buy this at 53, 56. So 4-5% move down, buy near 53, 56 with the stop loss of 50. Target of 59 and 63. Either you buy above 59 or buy near above 59. Stop loss is 50, both the cases. Target is 63, 69. UPST, it did not even touched. Like this stock was 400. Head and shoulders, it's coming to a very important area of 80. I would love to add this at 80, just in simple terms. Buy near 80. It's an investment, it's not an option choice. Uh, 80 with a target of 113. Stop loss of, I would say 80, 85, stop loss of 79. Investment. Then we had IBM. IBM has earnings this week. Let me insert one row for IBM. IBM has always disappointed me. So if it does one more time, I will not be surprised. Let me clean up IBM chart as well. Let me take 5 years. Yeah. I'm trying from 86 here. Okay, it's also making inverted head and shoulders, possibly like Tesla, and it's bouncing right from this area. So let me draw a Fibonacci low to the high to the low. Let me check the numbers. Low is 115.29. 112.10. 112.10. 145.99. One 1456. And it has lost from 61, 135 area. Still in the positive trend, but it has habit of serious losing after years. There was a massive evening star right here. It went to 141 and failed. Again, I don't expect anything positive from IBM and their earnings, but let's see. If it bounces, it might give you a bounce around 127. So I would love to add IBM near 127. $127.51. 129, 130, 132. Stop loss in this case is this gap, 127.20. If it holds this gap, it can be positive trade, but otherwise I'm not touching it. So that's about it from me. Hi Jerry.
Hey Naval, how was your weekend?
Cold. How is yours?
That was good. That was good. I had a question about a specific stock, but I don't know. I know you don't really trade it, but I was just curious about what your thoughts are on it. LSPD. I was just randomly looking at it, and it's really respecting my levels, my support and resistance on there. So I'm curious as to where you see like potential scenarios.
It needs to recapture at least 35 for me to actually go in it.
Oh,
You
sorry.
may see a bounce towards 35. Is this the correct code?
Sorry, mine is under the TSX, so let me change to. That's fine. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, is this the right code? Lightspeed Commerce?
Yeah, it is the right code. It's just I have my levels on the TSX, and you have yours on the New York Stock Exchange, so it's just a little bit different.
Okay.
That's fine. Don't worry.
So it's still, you see from the fallout, maybe there's a gap. I don't know the reason behind this, but
They had a short report. There was a short report on their organic revenue growth.
and they were right. Like it's almost 66% down from there. Right. So it has not recaptured 12 EMA even once. So I have to enter here only if it recaptures the 12 EMA. You
So
need
you're
to have
looking.
back to back, like a weekly closing above this line is good, but anything below here is not good.
Yeah, because I picked up some shares on this on Friday because it's completely crazy that it's basically, for me, it's almost back to the IPO price, actually.
So in this market, just to be honest, IPO prices at last 2 years were really, really high. It may bounce back to 35, or it may come down to single digit.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You're right. We don't know where the market's going to go with possible war, apparently.
Yes, so
With Russia,
just keep some hedges if you're making positions in these stocks.
Yeah, I only have SPY put as hedges right now. I just basically been like buying hedges, selling that for profit, and then dumping them more into stocks. But yeah, no, I was just curious what your thoughts are on that, because also I was looking at a lot of the charts that you're showing, and they all have like a little bit of a gap left before they're looking to where they could potentially bounce from.
Let me give you a real-time fact from my own experience. 2008, 2009 to 2011, market was something in the similar state. Every rise was sold off. And I started accumulating stocks like this in Indian exchange. At that time, the stock was 220. Okay. Now the stock is only 20 cents. And I have accumulated more than 20,000 stocks of that.
Oh, geez.
And 2008, it was the biggest Indian company on the exchange. So you can imagine anything can happen with stocks like this. So better to have some more clarity before like start to accumulate them. Not at this time. I would not encourage anybody to start adding any of the stocks. Wait for clarity.
You're right. Like maybe I shouldn't be catching a falling knife, but I saw this. I sold this a little while ago at 80 or 80 and 100, and then it ripped to 150. So then I was like, oh my god, I
had the same thought when it was like the stock was 200. I added at 200, 30, 40. It came down to 160 and then went to 298. I started calculating. Okay.
Yeah.
And it never saw 3 digits ever after that.
Oh, yikes.
It's
Yeah, this
Reliance
is
Communication, and you can search on internet about that company. It
Mhm.
was Indian, like it was one of the index companies.
yeah.
So
Maybe
let
you're
it
right.
capture 35 first before you just jump onto it.
Yeah, maybe I might hedge it. I might specifically buy puts on it, and
Sure. That's another way of doing it.
yeah,
Okay,
that might be a good idea. Thanks all. I appreciate
no
the
problem.
the time.
I'm just saying again. I'm just sharing my own experience because I've
No, I
seen
appreciate
it,
it.
I've
I appreciate it.
burned myself on all this.
I didn't trade back then, so I appreciate any experience you can give to me.
Yeah, like just few months back, people were all over crazy about this stock called Fosli.
Yeah, Fastly.
Look at this. Did it ever came back? Even after all the positive news, it just goes down and down and down and down and down.
Yeah, there's a lot of insider selling on this stock too.
DKNG from 74 all the way, it's like almost 80% dripped.
But actually you're right. Even they had positive news recently, and they're still going down.
Yes, and that's what happened to me. Even if the company had positive news, it goes up $3 and the next fall is about $6.
Yikes. Okay. That is really
Okay.
concerning.
No problem. Joy double top pattern. It's not roughly a double top pattern. It's a very slightly different pattern. You can call M pattern. It's not a clean double top. Ubrino, I look at oil and gas because I trade crude futures, and nobody here has any interest in crude futures, so I do not mention about that. But I trade crude futures, then looking at oil and gas. Crude futures gives me some money all the time. If you want crude futures, I have a chart for it and I trade it.
Also, Noel, I had one more question.
Yes.
Your views on the indexes falling rapidly from this point forward. I find it kind of like, I guess, hard to believe at this point, because we're basically betting on basically another COVID crash, right? I mean, essentially was what we're almost betting on, right?
See, I sent you a message 3 weeks back, right?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
4,800 to 4,400 now. That's 10,
Yeah.
almost 8%. Look at all the companies from that point onwards to today. Sometimes it's hard to accept it because even I had some positive mind that yes, market will bounce. It never did.
Don't get me wrong. I've been playing puts through the whole way through, so I've been I've been okay with that. I guess what I'm curious, and I'm still inputs, but I'm just kind of curious if maybe I'm being too pessimistic on where the market's going when it's already fallen so much, right? I don't know. I'm finding it hard to stay negative. Does that make sense?
No. I totally understand because we have not seen that kind of market in the last decade or so. This is the first time in last since 2013, 2014, when there is going to be maturity of the bonds and money will be liquidated out of market.
That's true. I forgot that I did read something about the bond market, fluctuations in the bond market when the 10-year treasury, I think it was 2011 that they had bought, there was huge purchases in the bond market. If I recall. Is that what you're referring to?
I keep on checking bond market every day because bond market is almost 10 times bigger than the equity market. So I keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on Federal Reserve of New York, their trades. Just read about them on their website, what they're doing. That will give you some level of clarity because bond market is the first market to react.
Right.
Then the equity market follows it.
Sure. Yeah, I need to do more reading. Okay. Thank you so much, Naval.
No problems. And Ubrino, this is crude. This is making W. It just need to cross 86. Once it does, it's not going to look back. 102. For once, it might get rejected by 86, 87, which I think it did at 86, 87. It got 1, 2, 3, 4 rejection, came and tested this 12 EM at 82. It might consolidate for a little bit more time. Once it crosses 86, it's not looking back. So if you want to trade oil and gas stocks, you can use the crude. I use crude because trading ZOM and trading Oxy is pretty hard. Trading crude is pretty simple for me. Hi, Mr. Hunt. Good evening.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi. How are you doing? Good to see you, Naval.
I'm good, Robert. How are you?
I am doing okay.
Futures are up 44.20, looking really, really good. 1% up. Yeah.
I have some charts. I'd be happy to share them on my screen,
Okay,
and
let
we
me
can
just-
go through them together.
Let me just allow you to share your screen. You can go ahead and share.
Okay. So this is a chart of the IWM. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm noticing that there's this very low volume area under this 209 level down to this 170 level.
Yep.
Since we broke this 209, I mean, when I'm looking at this chart, it looks like it's going to come all the way down to 170. And
It
this is
can-
just,
it can flush there.
okay. So that was one that really popped out at me. Another one that is looking surprisingly strong is PSA. This is like public storage company. It's been staying in this, these are all weekly, of course, candles, but it's been staying in this channel the whole time. It met this resistance up here. It's bouncing off the center trend line support here. Where would be a good place to put the fib?
Try with you want to use extensions or retracement?
Let's use an extension.
Extension, then come to 2020 year line. And
Okay,
you see
so
the red candle right there.
this one, yeah.
Start from here.
Okay,
Go to the just there, right
yeah,
there.
up here. Okay,
Come down. Yes. Check
something like that.
if it like gives you a clear set.
Okay, so yeah, so it met the resistance here at the 38, came back to support 23, broke through 50, so it's not a strong
50
level.
is not as strong yet.
So then got resistance at 61, good, came back, broke through, met the resistance of the trend line, and is getting support at the 50. So it seems like it's gonna, so I guess if this holds, right, if 352.87 holds, it will try to come back to retest the 366.98, something like that,
Yeah,
right?
something like that, yes.
Okay. Thanks
But
for
if it
doing
loses
that.
that trend line, it's gonna go down.
Right, if
34.
if 352 falls, then it will try to come back down here. Also, the EMAs are super bullish though. I mean, we're on the weekly chart. I mean, we're
34 EMA, it can test if it loses that.
So all the way, yeah, that makes sense. That this 321 level.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one that was looking really strong as well is Philip Morris. So this is like tobacco. And I mean, I just drew this channel, but it looks like it's stayed in this channel pretty strongly. And I mean, what do you think of these? What do you think of my extensions? I started here. So this is
It looks good.
okay
Went up
here.
and then came down. Yeah.
So if we take a zoom in,
And it's following the levels.
you have any sense of a stock like Philip Morris? I mean, I was surprised to see it doing so well.
I have a stock called ITC in Indian market, which I used to trade. It's a tobacco company, same, but the company and Philip Morris both, they work once in a while in 3-month period and then they die.
Okay.
So if you look at the range of the stock, it's pretty small range. Because you have like a weekly candles open, that's why it's looking such a big range. Go to daily candles. It works in a very small range.
86 to 103 area here.
And go back 5 years, 10 years, you will see the same range.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can see it's really come down.
That's
It's
what I'm
been-
saying. I have bought myself in ITC and Philip Morris both.
Okay.
It's like once in a while it will run. It will give you an opportunity, rise a ray of hope in you that yes, it's going to break out. And that's it. It will just go die down from there.
Okay, so you would say start getting excited if it can break past this previous high of 106, then maybe
Play with
you
the
might
trail here. Play with the trail on this.
play with the trail. Okay. Another one that was looking decent was Regeneron.
That's a stock which Trump pumped.
So yeah, this was a Trump pumper.
It's exactly similar to Amazon. Check the chart. Amazon, just lay it over. Exactly similar to Amazon.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do with Amazon. Seems like it's not going anywhere. But for the Regeneron chart, so let me just try to draw this channel here. So maybe start from this low here. So test of resistance here, test of support, test of resistance, test of support. I mean, it seems like it's consolidating, right? EMA is on the weekly or bullish. The 34 EMA is holding.
It's holding, yes. But you see, right in the last 5 candles, it's between the 12 and 34.
I see what you're saying.
Last 5 or 6, 5 candles, it's right in between. It's neither going up nor going down. It's kind of coming in. And whenever that happens, stock falls.
Okay, so if I were to draw the extensions, so this is where I sometimes get confused. Do I start at this candle and then go down and then to here?
You can try here. If it doesn't work, go back.
Or go back, maybe down to here, you thinking?
Yes, and then retrace it to this one. Yes.
Okay.
And see whichever is in line with your candles, that is the one we need to follow. So
Okay, this one looks pretty good, right? This is yeah, resistance at 0.618. Came all the way back, so it came all the way down to 23.6.
Yep, and bounce from there.
All the way back up past the 50, but it didn't quite make a new high.
Yes,
So
but look here. It's also making a M.
Right, I see the M.
It's making M and it's rightly in between 1234.
Okay, so you're saying short under 593 level, something like that, or if this breaks down.
Look at the option interest in February of 550. Can you
February
check that?
yeah.
Let's see. If we have some reasonable open interest, it means we are looking at right thing. Because people who have the news or anything related to this, because it's going to fall big all the way to 440. So
Okay,
they will
so
already have placed their bets on. They'll not come on the last day.
okay, so I'm looking at the open interest. There is more puts than call open interest. And it looks like 520 January of next year, there's some leaps. And then I see September of next year, 560, high open interest. 530. I don't see a ton of open interest for February.
Okay, but leaps are there, right?
Leaps are there. Yeah, leaps, long leaps, puts, high open interest.
It's something is about to happen here. I do not trade this, but I can very well look at this chart, look at the consolidation to Intel 34. Whenever I've seen this, it has fallen out. Stock is broken.
Okay, and so if I look at the shelf, I mean, there's a big shelf right here at 534. You know, it lines with the volume profile, it lines with the fib, failed to make a higher high. Okay, so this could be a short opportunity.
Yep.
And then the last one that I have, and then I'll hand it over to somebody else, is Starbucks. So
It's gonna go down.
you think down?
Because it's based on the consumer confidence. Consumer confidence at this time is really hard. So Walmart, Target, Starbucks, all these companies, they're struggling with the consumer confidence. They need to have better consumer confidence for them to grow. You can see the similar chart in Nike.
Oh wow, look at that M. That's a that's an M if I ever saw one, but it's a higher high though.
It doesn't matter, but it's an M.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it's a little different than double top. Somebody was asking.
So for the Starbucks one, what I like about the chart is that it's right at the support trend line.
Yes.
So that's what gives me some hope that we may see a rally higher. There is earnings coming up too. So earnings on
earnings can, you know my luck with earnings. So I don't want to comment on that. If I go long, you can go short, blind short.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. Okay, all right. Well, look, Naval, thank you again for all the time you put into this community and helping us trade. And good luck tomorrow. Okay.
Yep. You too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Let me just share my screen. Hi, Manibhai.
Hi, can you look at Disney? I think you're going long, not now, but in the form of very long term around. I can share my screen.
Sure.
It's just a normal one.
You have the option to share the screen.
Yeah. Screen share. So my thought process is getting somewhere around 125, 126 area.
Yes, that's the gap fill that needs to be done when they announce the ESPN Disney Plus. I made huge amount of money from 1 cent call for 10-cent call in Disney. I sold it at $9 on this trade.
Yeah.
It will come and fill that gap.
Yeah, I think maybe, or do you think it goes more? Because I'm just, again, the value and fundamentally, if you see, I feel Disney is a lot better, but this market doesn't give damn about fundamentals that I understood very late.
Yes. So wait for 125 area. 125 area, similar to Facebook, this is a really good investment.
Yeah, Facebook on this side, I was thinking somewhere on this range, 289, 300, 290 is where I'm looking for an entry into Facebook. But I'm not sure if Facebook results how that it will take up. This one is purely on stocks, but this one, if you see, this is the reason, one of the reason I'm not sure whether I'll be able to get this pricing.
Like, I'm not understanding your point. Like, I see
no,
that.
Okay. This is a support line which I'm seeing.
Yes.
A previous resistance is now is support is what I'm thinking because 1, 2, So I don't know whether it will go down till 290.
No, in this market, it can even go down to 250. I don't have any issues. I will start accumulating
Okay.
at 300 and then 250.
Mhm.
If I have if I
Okay.
have to go long, this will be the choice of my long items.
Okay. Okay. So Disney, I can wait around till whatever I have drawn on the chart then. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, sir. Sure.
No problems. Then we have Hubert. Hi, Hubert.
Hi, Nava.
Hi.
Hope you were able to make some sort of money in this bloodshed of a market last week.
I made some money. I'm actually green for the week.
That's good.
And
So,
surprisingly, I did not take a single put.
oh wow, nice. Yeah, I lost money last week. So
I lost
know you're
the first 2 weeks. So
got it. So I think your one trade a day is kind of helping you out
yes.
for risk management. Okay. So I know you were pretty bearish on the market because we've broken down all the support levels. But then we have FOMC on Wednesday. And if you're looking at SPY or ES on the weekly, it looks like it's just sitting on top of the 200 MA. No, I'm sorry, the 50 MA. So do you think that Powell can say anything to just make the market run from there, or are you totally bearish on the market at this point?
See, Powell can, like with Trump, Powell was getting his butt kicked. He used to complain. Biden doesn't do that. He has given him next 4 years to control the inflation, and he has primarily said, control the inflation. And if inflation gets out of hand, this market can be really, really bad for next couple of years. So with Powell, I don't expect him to say anything to save the market. The only thing he can say is that he will use all the tools to support the market. And we may have a relief bounce. But will that bounce sustain or will that bounce hold? I don't know. That's why I plan day by day, because I don't know what's going to happen by the end of the week. We can take a long-term view on things, but if you're trading, we have to trade on the daily views, because market is so volatile, it can change at any given time in the day. So if we are going into Wednesday, we'll see what's happening on the Wednesday at 2 o'clock and take a cue from there. Because if he says positive, market is not going to stop running for like in the next half an hour. It will run for next few days. It will give us opportunity to ride that trend. But if we try to act smart and jump before he says, so that we can multifold, we might end up losing whatever we have.
It's true.
So I would wait for his statement, for his clarity on the market, on the FOMC. But as far as my understanding is, he's not going to root for market. He's going to do whatever he can to control the inflation, because if inflation goes out of hand, it can be nasty for the economy. It can actually start the recession pretty quickly, which nobody wants.
But if he also tanks the market, it's going to look bad for all the politicians and also the president. So
it doesn't matter. Market is not anything for them.
Okay.
It was Trump. For him, market mattered, not for Biden. Did he even set a single statement since he became the president about the market? No.
Yep, you're right.
If it goes up, it goes down. He did not claim that market went up to 1400 on his presidentship. He did not. So if a market goes down to 3500, he will not be there to say. But yes, a relief bounce is there, which can happen. And you see, it exactly came to 4382 on Friday, bounced right from it, 23.8. Possibility to 4451 is there, 4451, 4448, but that's about it. We'll take a cue from there. If it closes above 4458, then yes, it can go to 4519. But at this moment, I will not expect it to go back to 46 and 868. I'll take step by step. If it crosses this area, it might go for this and then this.
Okay.
Same thing is going down. When it was 46.68, we came to 44.81, 44.19, 44.58, 43.82. It did not came like in a single 1 day move. It was a step-by-step move. We lost 46.68, closed here, close to next level, close to next level, close to next level. You see all the closing were happening on those levels.
So Naval, since you've been in the market for this long, do folks that are on the bullish side turn to bears? Because look at the selling pressure. It's like there's literally nobody that's buying. Everybody's just selling at this point.
Okay, let me show you one thing which will give you a clarity. Let me open my so let's go to NVIDIA. Okay. People were talking about NVIDIA being overbought and oversold. Look here. This stock was so overbought. Okay, you just keep an eye on this. And I am going to add one more indicator here, which is check-in money flow. This was getting distributed in this area. This is usually for the main money flow which is coming. Here it was coming out, 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 and it was getting distributed. Whenever this is at the top, it means it's getting distributed. And every time it's up, you see it's followed by a down. They were not selling here at 343. They were selling right in this area, the big funds. That's why there was no new money. It made all-time high, but was there any new money behind that? No. Did you get my point? There was no new money coming into NVIDIA. Right here.
So it was all retail? Is that what you were saying?
Yes. This is one of the best indicators if you want to trade based on indicators.
Money flow.
Look at the market price, look at the price action, look at the money flow. You do check the option flow, but look at the stock price flow. This is the money which was getting distributed. See, simple logic, it was making new highs. Was the new money coming in anywhere?
I see.
It was getting distributed.
So maybe when we're doing these the future live stream sessions, we should look at this so we can know how to buy put swings. If there's no new money coming in, definitely it's going to fall eventually.
I can do that, but then it will take like too much of my time to explain each and everything. And on the weekdays, it's very tight for me. I can do that for at least a couple of big stocks. I don't mind.
Yeah, like for Regeneron, the ones that are still pretty high that can drop.
Give me a name.
You know, REGN, the one that I think somebody just presented, Richard.
Yeah. So you see here, this was getting accumulated here when it was at around 520, 540 area. And then it bounced. This is the accumulation. And it bounced. See, the interpretation of this is pretty difficult. If you look at the books, they will say the money here is adding. But in my experience, this is the selling. what is happening here. This is the selling and this is the buying. It's completely opposite to what the book says. And now it's in that same structure where it is getting distributed. If something happens, it's going to lose pretty quickly. It's kind of holding right in this area, but there is no new money coming in. The new money is right here. This is all distribution. It's a little difficult to interpret. That's why I don't use this. New money in the sense retailers are coming with new money and funds are selling them. So the net flow in the stock is high, but as soon as it goes low, there's nothing impact on the price of the stock at that time. But eventually it will. Let's see Amazon. Amazon here, even funds were buying at the last day of the month, like in November to December. They were buying it, but it could not push it above the price. And look at the price action now. Now the funds are still trying to buy this. They were selling it right here at the price of 3,500. But when it came down, they tried to buy it and you saw a bounce towards 3,600, but it failed. And then it never picked up from there on. So just to read this, you're going to have some practice. Here they were selling and here they were buying.
Okay. Thank you, Naval. I do have one last question. So if you go back to the SPY chart on the weekly.
SPY or ES?
Anyone, SPY, yes. So if you zoom out a little on the weekly, not the daily. You see how it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks for SPY to go from the lows of 429 all the way to 470, and see how long it took. It took only 1 week for sellers to drop the stock that much.
That's why it's always easy to make money in the short market. Give me 1 second. I'm getting a call from my father.
Okay, sure.
Right. So I'm back. So here you see it went up. You're saying 5 weeks. It took only 1 week to bring it down. You see, when we were jumping, when we were falling, it took like 4 weeks to cut out almost 40% in the market. It's easy to sell and make money, but it's very difficult to find where to sell.
That's a good analogy. Do you recommend any materials for bear market, like how long to hold? And I've got into puts, but I don't hold them for long. I don't know why, but it's just
that's the same trouble I had. I am actually a bear by nature, but in the last few years, every time I went into bearish mode, I got burned really seriously.
Yeah.
So hard for me to hold my positions. I had 400 QQQ puts for expiring last Friday. I had 50 lots of them.
Jeez.
And I cut them into like a very small profit. And now that ended up like around 50 on Friday close. I would have easily made $250,000. But I made only $2,000.
Yeah, we'll get better
eventually. And I've been always saying below 4668, we're going to go back down very quickly.
Yes, you said that.
Happen. But I could not leverage it. So now 4382 is some area where we should see some respite before we go down again.
I heard you say 4668. I'm going to start taking your next advice seriously. Thank you, Naval.
Yeah, I put this number on my Twitter account as well on my daily analysis, this 4668.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I need
Thank
to
you
go
so
back.
much.
No problems. We'll post this data in sometimes I have to receive my call from my family. All right, bye bye. See you all tomorrow. Bye bye. Good night.